Da, 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 da. I'm getting ha ha ha. Ba-da-da, Are we ready to watch some more drifting? Ba da 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 da. All right. It's 5:01. Oh, I'm an idiot. Let's see what we got going on here. What's going on here? Not sure what that black bar is. Oh, I think I figured it out. Ta-da! I kind of know what I'm doing. Not really. Let's get into it.
What a beautiful day here in New Jersey.
Not the sounds of Dixie, bro. That's a little bad.
Round 4, the Formula Drift Pro Championship. As we make our way over what I call the Crazy 8, the Figure 8 track.
Let's see. Let's pull up the bracket here. I was not locked in and ready. Not locked in and ready. Alright. Let's see what's crack-a-lackin'. Andy Haley gets a bye run. Pretty stoked about that. Been watching Andy Haley 4 years. Calm down, Jarrett. I need you to relax, buddy. I'm talking here. Then we got the West Coast kids, Kyle Mohan, Forrest Wing. Joao Barrion versus Robert Thorne. That should be a good battle. Ben Hobson, Jonathan Hurst. I actually really expect this to be a good battle. Really hoping that Ben Hobson gets the win here. I would like to see him in top 16. I feel like he's got a very bad break throughout the season in the seeding brackets. Connor Shanahan was last round. I forgot who it was the round before. It's just been bad luck. And then we got Derek Madison versus Dimitri Bruschi. Mike Power versus Von Gittin Jr. If you know me, you know I'm a Gittin fan. Rudy Hansen and Daniel Stuckey. And then Federico Sharifo against Dean Kearney. Dean Kearney. So, not like slouch battles. Like, these are all going to be good battles, I feel like. I mean, there's one or two in there, and I'm not going to say which ones that may be meh, but I'm excited, to say the least, for the seeding bracket. Again, I'm super stoked that FD started to do that this year. It made me regret not getting a ticket for Fridays for the FD events, so maybe when it comes down and we go to the remainder of our FD events on the West Coast, that we get Friday tickets instead of just Saturday tickets. Let's see what these boys are saying.
Yeah, and we'll get into that as things proceed, because here we're looking at Andy Haley, talking about him and what he's doing, and see if he is the biggest wizard of them all. But want to walk us through what's at stake here, because pro spec versus pro is two different kind of line items.
Yeah, seeding brackets are a little bit different between the two sections. Basically, in pro, though, if you win this first battle, you are in the show for Saturday. So it's super important that you win that first battle, but it is also important if you win the battles after that, because that is what is going to set you up for who you're going to take on Saturday. You know, if you are coming in just by the skin of your teeth, you're going to be up against one of the top contenders from the previous round. If you can win this section, gives you a lot of momentum, gives you a lot of practice, and allows you to battle somebody who's kind of in the middle. So it might be an easier battle, may not be, but yeah, winning today is very, very important for how things are going to go on Saturday.
Where are you going? Why are you being crazy?
First battle you see on the left and on the right, those two names you want to advance on. Some drivers are getting a fast pass in there. You see Haley, you see Mike Powerbomb getting Junior's not here in the building, so they will get by runs in. But, you know, we're looking at names like Ben Hobson, Joao Barrion. They would like to get into the show. We did see Joao jump up in Atlanta, but overall, again, 24 locked. We're backfilling the remaining 8 to create 32 for Saturday's game day. Here, round 4, the Type S, the gauntlet presented by AutoZone here at E-Town. It's as simple as that. This is the Driver Championship, 3 rounds down, 3 different winners. We kick things off with the season. Of course, we saw the fire, we saw the rain, and James Dean saw the top of the box. James Dean, your 3-time champion. He won.
What is this
Beach.
mic picking up?
To Atlanta, the iconic track. Frederick Osbo, another 3-time champion. And then a champion, but a champion in another country, not here in FD. He's a rookie. I had a gentleman come at me on the internet. I said, he's a rookie for Formula Drift. I talked to Connor this morning. He says, yeah, I'm a rookie. That's why it has an R next to my name. I want to win Rookie of the Year. And Shanahan is looking like he is out for blood. On the box at the podium, the interview, he says, I heard Orlando's going to fit my style. I said, oh, yeah. Those Irish tracks, you know, and, you know, talking about Shanahan, talking about Manoa, there's a lot of youth that's coming up. And it's this cool season and winds of not change, but just addition.
Yeah, and the
Connor
younger drivers
is a
very
rookie.
different than that of a lot of the established drivers. They're taking risks earlier in practice. They're trying things like different initiations and different transitions, and they're coming in with hours and hours and hours of sim under their belts. So when they come into practice, they already know their car's set up. They've got all the notes that drivers have spent years to develop, and they've tested all already. They just come in and do it. Yeah, crazy.
Yeah, Sim Magic, the official simulator of Formula Drift, as this is the K&N seating bracket. Thank you to K&N, the official performance air filter Formula Drift. Our judges not just up here scrutinizing the runs, but also striping the track, getting it prepped, getting it clean, getting it ready to go. So
I feel like striping is something that you do when you're not completely ready.
Co-founder, he's sitting right next to us. We are high atop the tower. Again, this is traditionally a drag race track, but we are at the top level 3 up there. I mean, technically it's 4 because we got to go up and then go up and up. But overall, taking a look at our 2024 championship, you know, a lot of eyes were on Matt Field coming this round, or coming into this season. Odie Bakshi's, a lot of
I feel like you're
eyeballs
doing
on
something
him.
that you're not supposed to, dog.
Valleys, man, but here we are. This week,
Man, feels like it was just yesterday that the season started, and pretty much halfway. This is the halfway point. After this event, we are halfway through.
Love the vibe up there, and Grantsville, Utah, just outside of Salt Lake.
Kind of want to go to Seattle. I want to figure out how to do that logistically. That's always been a bucket list event. I had a buddy that went up there a long time ago, and he said it was probably one of the best events. And then obviously, people that we know say that it's a pretty good event. I like Washington. It's beautiful. I like green. I hate the desert, ironically.
And for being just 20 years old, but at the same time, wow, it's been 20 years old.
And they got people walking on the track. I don't think these guys are ready today.
It's not a fad anymore. You know, this is awesome. So
they did this for Pro 2. What up, Willie Will? Yo, 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 yo.
Is your all-access pass to Formula Drift. Download on the App Store, get on Google Play. It's got so many different activities that, you know, between, you know, buying tickets.
Who do you got winning, Will?
I mean, there's so much information there. Have you downloaded it yet?
Yeah, I do. I was playing.
Is Ben going to take it all the way to the top?
It's super low latency, which is super cool. It's actually.
Is Forrest going to? You know, I already know your answer. It's going to be Forrest, isn't it?
It's almost real. It's pretty wild, but yeah, and playing with some of the telemetry stuff, and yeah, I've been back and forth with the team developing.
Who else we got?
Yeah, hey, I gotta put my notes in there where I can.
No, of course.
Wait, is Forrest even there, or is he a no call, no show?
Being chalked and striped and getting ready to go. Walk us through here. You know, going off of prospect seating brackets earlier. Where are some points of interest for you? You got to sit back over there while Silver and I are calling the action, but where were you focused in on? Where were the judges focused in on, more importantly?
Yeah, initiation is huge. They want fast and snappy. There is the 3-2-1 as traditional. Possible. Snappy.
I knew it.
And then you see there's only a couple of small spots that you can decel. We get through Outer Zone 1. They want the transition. Same thing, to be very committed.
I'm expecting Forrest to have a super gangster entry.
Outer Zone 2 is very, very long. Similar, another snappy transition before you get into 3, which now those barriers are moved back a little.
I feel like this entry is made for him.
Things up a little bit. You can't run against that. You basically have the dirt.
Yeah.
So it's if you're sitting on that side of the grandstands, there's a reason those are blocked off, because the front row could be a messy one.
Yeah, it's a splash zone, but it's gonna hurt definitely a lot. The Type S
I'm gonna be
diesel,
I'm gonna be fully honest. I had no idea that the lights on the windshield were actually going off of positive G's and negative G's. Totally thought that it was an indicator for on gas, off gas, brake. Literally had no idea. That's pretty cool. It makes more sense because I've seen them get like super finicky. I think you got it right the second time, Will. I literally had no idea though. I thought it was just gas, brake, dip type shit, and it wasn't.
Just for a second, that can be enough to close the gap on the chase and have
Come in,
so
let's do it.
Used as a tool to understand fault.
Brake check. I mean, and this is just,
See, all right, I'm glad I'm not the only one. Dude, I was totally thinking that, I mean, like, right? Like, wouldn't it make sense? Like, we always had the brake lights on top, and now they're on the back, so I kind of figured the other lights were gas, brake, and coasting.
Watching at home for free 93, and they're tuning in as the sun is setting. But we're talking about, giving free 93. Well, you can actually win money. So
this is insane to me. This is insane to me that we are betting on drifting now.
See right there, NXT bets. So
that they have this all set up through Formula Drift.
You can win some money. That's pretty sweet.
Yeah, and hey, if you're watching the practice show, you might have a little bit more insight. Yeah, taking a look.
Absolutely.
I don't know if we've ever done that, like as a friend group, why we haven't all came together and put money
our 3 judges this round,
on each other, on like who we think's gonna win. Probably because our brackets are usually very similar by the end of it.
Talking about those judges, people are, hey, do this, do that, do, and I mean these drivers, or excuse me,
what an idiot,
have some great accolades just over the
I was
years.
wondering what's going on with my mic the whole time.
15 years as a pro judge, FD Japan judge, Reese, longtime drifter, spotter for Chelsea to know.
Shit, yeah.
Vernon, he's still active with Drift Masters.
If the yellow one, maybe, yeah. No, they still probably just go off the lockup of the rear tires.
Yeah, 2 tires off isn't incomplete. That is very, very important to remember. So that is completely off the track, not just past that line, off the track. Initiate no later than the 1 marker on the wall. You will see them. We will point them out. We will call it. There's also a line on the ground to make it very clear. Tire drops for the lead and outside zone 1 are more severe this year. So if you do drop 1 tire, drivers have indicated that it slows the car down, makes it very difficult to chase. So you don't want to go off track there, even 1 tire. And then transitioning from outer zone 1 to outer zone 2 must be smooth and chaseable. So they do want a snappy transition, but they don't want it to be herky-jerky. It's one of those transition and then keep the momentum going.
Ryan created this term, and I love it. It's rate to angle.
Right.
So it's not.
I need that map again.
It's not nasty. It's good. It's just all of it, and you know it. It's like hearing a good voice. You're like, yep, that musician right there
gives you chills.
There we go. That's right.
I'm not sure why you wouldn't.
That's what we're looking for.
Always have the criteria of going from outside zone 1 to outside zone 2 to be smooth. Thought that was kind of like the whole point.
Round 4 for the Formula Drift Pro Championship.
These guys be dragging it out. Dragging it out. You got it, Mr. Willie. Let me know how that is. I mean, now it's all commercials, but
show everyone out there who's the best.
Here we go, Frederick Osborne.
We really need to be focused. I tell myself.
I know when I stream Call of Duty, I have to turn the desktop audio down a little bit because it just completely overpowers my voice. Hey, get out of there. This dog, I swear.
Looking for what comes next? For that moment when everything finally...
Skadoosh.
1 minute!
Actually, I'm gonna keep it here, and then once they actually start driving, I'm gonna turn it up more.
Whichever path you choose.
I went back and watched it, and I forgot to do it. Thank you for reminding me, Mr. Will.
Next Gear is a high-performance synthetic gear oil designed to provide maximum protection to heavily loaded gear. Slippery synthetic molecules and center look additive package not only reduce wear, they virtually eliminate both gear and bearing wear. We run 1,000 horsepower through our transmission and differential all season long and never have a problem. Eliminative variable, drift with Royal Purple Max Gear. Pour purple, Royal Purple. You can find Max Gear at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
NGK and TK is more than just high ignitability spark plugs and precision sensors. They're about growing the car community. This is why they're introducing Shop Squad, an automotive meeting place for shop owners, service writers, technicians, students, and industry professionals to come together and share knowledge and encourage self-growth. Enrolling is free, and you have access to on-demand training, digital newsletters, product launch information, and more. Woo!
And there we are again, taking a look over the Garden State. Excited to see who is going to advance on. A lot of pressure on some of these drivers. You know, you're taking a look at the fast pass for Andy. I mean, shoot, half of them are already advanced on.
Yeah.
So Andy Haley, Kyle Mohan, because Forrest Wang's not here. Mike Power, because Von Gittin Jr. is not here. And Frederick Osbo, because Dean Carney's not here. Excuse me, Federico Sharifo.
Yeah.
My bad. I saw.
Wow.
My writing is bad.
It's
Is that Tom
Dude,
Segura?
I'm worse than a doctor. So hey, there's Farouk Kawai. Farouk's watching from the stands. Got some fans here. Thank you so much for joining us out here. Skipping work a little early. Come join us here on a Thursday. Look at zooming in on himself. Look at this guy. That's me. It's so meta right there.
No.
Super meta with the hat.
Damn.
The Type S, the gauntlet presented
All right,
by
so
AutoZone. Type S,
it's a little light field
of Formula Drift. Thank you for their support. If you have
Dean Carney's not here, Vaughn's here, and I didn't hear else who they said.
I like calling the power. The power of the babe, the power of the hoodoo, the voodoo, the power of the babe. All right, so but be sure to go by the Type S booth or Formula Drift, or go to again FormulaD.com. There are Type S products
Forrest
for sale
isn't here.
now. So Kyle the Menace Mohan, him and Alec Robbins got into it earlier. Woo,
A little spicy.
woo, got a little heated.
It happens. I mean,
Yeah, I'm here for it.
What do you mean got into it?
Yeah, Reese, the judge and I were talking about maybe introducing Power Slap to the competition. You know, we're taking them to the stage and they have to, have it out.
that would be interesting. Alec Robbins versus Kyle Mohan, a power slap. I would pay for that ticket.
I'm going to poke the bear here a little bit. All right, well, that was a slow roll for Kyle Mohan. I think he's very timid, gun shy, or is he just broken?
There was a lot of damage done. So going through, if you don't follow these drivers on socials, I highly recommend it because hey, that's where I get a lot of my info.
Absolutely.
From. It looked like basically the entire rear end, including disc brake, had broken. Front end had a bunch of damage. So I know they've been thrashing. I kind of poked my head in the pits earlier. There was a lot of damage.
If Forrest showed up, he would have had an easy win.
Distance, right? Like, I don't want to
That's
ask a lot of
unfortunate.
questions, but I'm assuming he's going to take that back into the pits, probably check a few more things. This is more of a shakedown. But he does have to prove he can run the car on track.
Yeah, run it now, as well as get it ready. Do you
That
try
sucks
to
for
go
Mohan,
for a
though,
victory
that-
here tonight? It's bragging rights. It's
I want to see the
in
footage
K&N
from
against seating bracket, but
from
he's in the
practice
show.
where they got into the
because
collision.
of his advancement.
Yep.
So that's good.
All right, Joao Barrion, Robert Thorne.
Robert Thorne. This is a crapshoot. I mean, for me, Robert has really made a lot of noise in pro spec, jumping to pro. Joao Barrion keeps, as you say, keeps getting better, but Robert had some crazy mistakes earlier in practice that were very uncharacteristic of his driving style.
Yeah, and Joao is running with an OEM transmission right now. There's a fun story that if we have time, I'll get into, but that's
OEM training,
All right, here we go. Joao Barrion, this Monster Energy Corvette. Again, this is hypercritical to get crazy initiation. Wow, where did that come from? That was unbelievable.
Thinking Thorne will take it. I have to agree there.
Now looks like he's dialing on in, turning and twisting the screws here, going to that first and only inside clip, and now that final outside turn, throwing big angle out. It's going to naturally slow you down with that grip, comes unwound. But Joao Barrion, look at that. That was a solid
I'm going to have to agree with you,
one of
Will.
the best I've seen from him.
Yeah, it was really, really interesting. watching the way his car was bouncing through it too to see what the grip setup was like. So Joao Barrion, amazing initiation there right at the wall, kind of shakes Robert Thorne a little bit in the chase. And then Joao right here could have been a little bit deeper through the second outside zone. And you can see him going on and off throttle, whereas Robert Thorne is pulling a little bit of angle out to kind of keep things safe. And then through this transition, I love the dive there from Robert Thorne. And then Joao throws on a ton of
I'm
angle
surprised
in the end.
that
Now,
Joao,
Robert does keep
it looks
through.
like
They
he
both
kind of like
get
bumped
over
into
the
him,
finish line there, but that
his
was
steer wheel.
really interesting. So Thorne's got to
Steer wheel, front wheel,
real spicy
whatever.
down.
Throw a little thorn in the side.
Yeah, ooh.
But Joao Barrion.
Thorn in the side. We should have a pun counter on here
Oh, sorry.
for Jared.
They shipped it out after Orlando and forgot to send some of the parts. So what they got back was fixed, but not with all the parts.
Oh, no. Oh, no. Here we go. All right. Coming down the chute, Robert Thorne initiates into that first outside zone, and there goes Joao.
Damn.
Wow, wow. Look at that. Into the second outside zone, the big 180-degree turn. Thorne bounces his way across it. You can just see there's the ripples there in the outside zone, too. Man, look at just the bowl of smoke.
God damn. Yeah, Will. I think he got it.
Really impressed with driving on the lead runs on both sides. That was fantastic.
Yeah, that was really good. Robert Thorne did have a few mistakes in the lead, and I think Joao was probably more aggressive than he needed to be. Look at that, tip to tail there, and then Robert Thorne basically missing all the first outside zone. Joao does a good job to still mirror it, even though he's in a good spot. Now scrubs out a lot of angle through this section, which I feel like he did because he wasn't sure what Robert was going to be able to do. Robert not as deep through
Robert
that
gapped him
there.
going into
And then Joao does pile back a little bit.
outside zone 3
I
though.
would say they were, on the lead
I don't know. I feel like
Robert does have
Thorne had that more. But he does have those mistakes. But Joao hung on to him too long going from outside zone 1 to outside zone 2.
Yeah.
So it may go Joao.
And I'll tell you what, just with the dynamicism or just the 2D of this track, it's really hard to see. So we're really, look, I'm just going to call it. I might see something and try to call it on the first glance, but then you get overhead and you see exactly. That's the truth serum.
Okay.
And here it is. Joao Barrion gets the win. Robert Thorne knocked out early.
Damn.
That's Metagard Racing BMW.
All right.
So again, the
I missed something on the first run then.
1 and transition to 2 is very, very important. Again, rate to angle, speed, don't delay, just do it.
Which wouldn't be a
nice
first time.
and fluid, but do it obviously with that impact and again, that rate to angle.
Yeah,
So,
and because of the line that Robert was on, which was 6 feet out from where it should have been, that transition is not going to be great.
all right, a lot of pressure here for both these guys.
All right, here we go.
Kentucky. This is
Mr.
a
Hobson, make it.
right here, man. Driving a
Rooting for him.
Cadillac, a Ford Mustang. Hobson needs a win. He needs this. And Hurst partied with him at Grid Life, just a little bit ago. Great dude. Hobson partied with him. We had a great time. But now, all right. You can catch that smoke. You know what I mean?
All-American battle.
Yeah, it's an all-American. Ben Hobson, Jonathan Hurst. Here we go. Hobson, that Penzo Mustang RTR Spec 5MD. I know Captain Clutchkick, boss
Swang
man
him.
watching at home, goes in that first outside zone. There goes Hobson.
Little shallow in
On
the
those
first
middle
outer
tires,
zone.
Down to that second outside zone. Big 180. And look at that.
Hurst, man.
Cadillac just sliding right next to
This
Ben
caddy
Hobson.
is
Now,
just
on that
wild.
front inside clip transition. Jonathan Hurst comes out of the slow smiling into that last outside zone. Pretty
All right,
good
we got
execution
we got a
on
battle
both
here. We got a
sides
battle here.
of the fence.
It looks like Ben Hobson has kind of come to terms with the RTR in the way that if you come off throttle, it is going to do wild things. This is a lot of throttle all the way through, which looks good. Now, Jonathan Hurst in the chase looks great, but could have been deeper through that section. The proximity is good, but you do still need to fill out that zone even in the chase position, whereas Ben Hobson looks very locked and loaded through most of this run. Little bit of a weird initiation getting back on throttle there, which I think threw Jonathan just slightly, but it wasn't enough for me to be like, oh, that's a huge detriment, and that's going to ruin the run for him. So it is a point to remember, and if Jonathan puts down a good one, I got to feel like we'll,
All right,
we'll
Mr.
have
Hobson.
to do a side-by-side.
Let's get this. This is what happened in Orlando.
Yeah, this is,
it was a great lead, and then the chase wasn't there.
Seating just yet. This is very important for him. Both mentally for the team and all that. I mean, again, great attitude. The pro spec, champ jumps over. I mean, he's very talented. He's just in a different weapon. Here we go. Jonathan Hurst out in front, that XLR cutting through the smoke. Ben Hobson now initiates. Here comes Jonathan Hurst. Little yank of that handbrake. Now
I don't think he got out there.
Into that second outside
And
there goes Jonathan Hurst and Ben Hobson.
All right, it may come down to leads.
There he is right there on the side of that Cadillac.
Where? Oh my God.
He is bathing in the smoke
Again.
by Ben Hobson, and they're transitioning.
I gotta see it again.
The finish line.
All right. Well, this is going to come down to a couple of different zones here because Jonathan Hurst did make a pretty large mistake in the first outside zone. So what I'm looking at when we get to the replay is, let's take a look. So you can see Jonathan does not fill that first outside zone. Now getting into the second one, he does get in nice and early. This chase here is very reminiscent of what Jonathan did, although Ben's a little bit more aggressive. Now Jonathan does have a really good job through our touch and go there. Then through this transition, Ben basically misses that whole thing. So
oh man,
we talk about lead versus lead, chase versus chase. It's a little bit more than that. It's the culminant of all of the runs put together. So there are no one more times here in the seating. That is going to make things a little bit more difficult on the judges. So yeah, it's
just absolute pressure. You can feel it. Like I said, you know, the judges, the accolades go on and on about, you know, driving themselves, running events, judging over in Europe, you know, between our three judges now and including Robbie Nishida, who's not here. A lot of pressure here, but no one more time. So we have to decide. So this is where you really start splitting hairs of hairs because, you know, let's look at it again. And here you go. This is exactly what you anticipated there, Jacob. You know, the BC Racing side by side. So you see Ben leading on the left and Jonathan Hurst on the right.
Yeah, so both their initiations were pretty similar.
Unfortunately, guys think Hurst is gonna
very close, whereas Ben's was a little bit closer in the chase, and then now looking at the chase here,
Hurst stuck with him through the course.
Jonathan did a better job, so it might literally just come down to the
that
chase
one corner.
Zone 3. That might have been the difference in that entire run.
Damn.
So
yeah,
everything else was pretty comparable, with some things kind of going back and forth. So we will, you know, I do want to get clarification either way this goes from the judges on their decision, but that's kind of what I'm seeing here.
Yeah, so taking a look, judges still just racking their brains. So this is, you can see Hurst. You know, he said he's changed his attitude. He's having a lot more fun. He's
doing
social.
good this
So
year.
here we go. Slide left for Ben.
What?
Right for John.
What?
One side,
Ah.
All right.
2 to
I think
1.
that's their way of nodding and saying,
So
yeah, you're right, Dre.
2 to 1, but Hurst gets the win.
It's I mean, I definitely can see this from both perspectives on this.
2 rounds in a row, man.
Chase,
Getting lost in the smoke. It's unfortunate. I don't know how, you know, I'm not a Formula Drift driver. I don't know if I could ever do that.
Ben did have some sections of his lead that were better than Jonathan, so it gets really tough.
All right, so again, 2 to 1.
Yeah.
2 to 1 there, and again, we saw a lot of pressure. Reese, elaborate there on Jonathan Hurst.
R.I.P.
Over Hobson.
Yeah, from my point of view, I was watching both of them do their lead run. It was, you know, I think it was pretty even on the lead run there. But then when we go into the chase run, we could see that Hobson, at least from my perspective, had a really big correction going into outside zone 3. Kind of looked like a reinitiation, trying to get back in it, a little bit of a bob. It was just a little bit too much for me to give it to Hobson on this one.
All right, appreciate it. There,
that's
the smoke
unfortunate,
comes into play, and that's what, you know, Jonathan managed that properly, just enough, just more than obviously Hurst handled it, you know. So there it is. So yeah, it's, you know, you feel for Hobson. He hasn't gotten out of seating yet.
Damn.
So
it's still like he's still progressing. I mean, we forget.
It's all right. I mean, it took Denofa a little bit
This
to get used to it,
you know,
so
James
it's just
Dean's
taking
done it
Ben a
in
little
Long
bit.
Beach
Right.
when he drove it for the first time.
Absolutely.
And he's not going against slouches again,
Right.
you know.
So we advance on Derek Madison, Dimitri Brutsky. Derek Madison, keep talking to him, brand new car, but we'll see if he's got all the power. I know he kept throwing belts in practice, so we'll see if.
I thought he was supposed to have a Mustang.
I got a low horsepower tune NA if I can't use the blower, but it looks like it seems to be working out right now. Dimitri Brutsky, as we know, multiple pro spec champion, making the jump to pro this year. And D-Max going exactly. He's going bonkers as Dimitri Brutsky never settled. He got in a fight with a wall earlier in practice. Good to see him get the car back together and up and running.
Yeah, Derek, I'm happy to see the new car finally in the sporting, and I know he's working through some gremlins, as you alluded to, but he looks really good here. Dmitry Brudsky playing things pretty safe with Derek Madison not able to get all the way out to the zone, and you see Dmitry
gotta be
falling
something
behind. He does. Now through this last outside zone, Derek Madison does a really, really good job. Dmitry Brudsky has put in a lot of laps here. He's done quite well at this event previously, both at FD and other things. So I would expect Dmitry to throw down a killer lead run on this one. And Derek, hopefully that belt does hang on, not, an announcer's curse, knock on wood. Because if he does, and he can just door him the whole way around, this is going to be a good one.
Well, keep in mind, Dmitry has won the Gambler here before, so he knows this track very, very well. Derek Madison coming from St. Louis. Look at that, dragging the wall. And we asked for that 3-2-1, and he initiated about the number 2.
Do you see how hard Madison's car just went
to the walls? And look at that. But D-Max looks like the belt is holding together right now. At least 2 of the outside zones going to that final inside clip, transitioning through, and Dmitry settles right in to that final outside zone. All right, so seemed like the belt held on, right? I mean, a 400 horsepower. He said he had a low horsepower. Looks like he's clapping both these guys. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, Dmitry shows his prowess at this track. So look at this initiation. Starts it at the first cone, basically. Backs it right into the wall. And I mean, that's not impossible to chase, but very difficult to chase. Now, Derek Madison does do a good job through this section.
Can't have a good chase without a good lead.
Working the wheel back and forth, so you can understand the inputs. A little bit late on the transition for Derek behind Dmitry. And Dmitry, in all honesty, he runs this track a little bit slower than a lot of drivers because he knows he can fill all the zones that way. Instead of trying to grip it up and really speed through everything, he does. He takes a lot of bite out of the car so he can be
pretty subtle for never settle.
And I think that's a good opportunity for D-Mads to get next to him with that proximity, with the angle, mimicking it. So, we'll see. We'll see and find out. If we quickly like that, you can see Derek Madison hyping himself up there. So he's his own hype man.
I think just him getting the car to the event, running it, that's the victory he wants.
All right, and here we go. So unfortunately, he will have to settle for that because
am I missing something?
Gets the victory and
what am I missing
on.
here?
All right,
I need to pay
he
attention.
Never settled. BMW moves on, but D-Mads, like he says, he working it out, getting some on-course thing. He said he's feeling pumped. He's always got a great attitude and a great head of hair, but he's also, again, this is, as you say, a victory in its own right. So we will see him at the next round of Formula Drift.
Yeah, and I mean, some of the best team shirts too. I mean, they took the casual team apparel to another level with those Hawaiian level, shirts. So super cool to see. Love his merch and stuff. If you get a chance, he's got a great spot.
The Boss Squad. Is that the Boss Squad?
Alan Boss, yeah.
Yeah, the Boss Squad.
Yeah.
Yep. So prospect driver, yeet on the door, and got a little yeet on the track as well.
Yeah. Driver coming out of the Drift PAOHNY Pahoney.
Yep.
Yeah, out of that program.
All right, got some gang right there. And this will be Mike Power. Yes, because this is a buy run, so there's a buy run for Mike Power, Type S. Sofa, relax, dog. I said get. All right, so the Type S.
Was he?
S15 Mike Power 919 is back on the track, and we will be seeing him in 32. He was intended to go against Von Gitt Jr., but Von Gitt Jr. Will not be obviously at this round of competition. I believe we'll see him.
Why is he not here?
At minimum Irwindale.
Okay.
Yeah, minimum Irwindale.
Why does he keep bowing out?
What I've been informed, but we were supposed to see Adam LZ again, and here he is again.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, unpredictable wild card, right?
Yeah, and we'll revisit, or revisiting us will be Dean Carney and Forrest Wang on the West Coast swing.
Nice. Yeah.
That's what was informed of me. So quickly, we're filling up this bracket. So those names that are yellow on the left and the right.
So we got Andy Haitley against Kyle Mohan, Joel Barrion, Jonathan Hurst,
so keep that in mind.
Dmitry Brudsky.
Not on the left and the right, far side, are not going to be in competition.
But hey, if you are in the building, go support them. If you are online, make sure to follow them.
Yep.
I mean, it's tough, but they still here. They still showed up, and I mean, a lot of them got merch for sale. So yeah, help the team out.
Yeah, I appreciate it. That's a great note. Rudy Hansen.
There's gonna be.
I'll be back. Rudy.
Rudy looked.
Rudy's photos.
Honestly, Rudy looked interesting, and
And
in Pro
he's
2,
just ready to shred. He's ready
I don't
to
really
shred,
understand.
from the windows to the
Or
walls.
it's not that I don't
you know, from the
understand,
jet skis
but they were talking about
to the
he
E-towns.
uses
here
the
we
same
are.
tires for Pro 2 as
Yeah,
Pro,
dude.
so I'm not
Yeah.
sure why he would do that.
All right, so all joking aside, he's doing double duty. That guy's got to be tired. Get that man some, I don't know, some sort of hydration, maybe a rock. Here we go, Rudy Hansen up front, Daniel Stuckey out back. Rudy initiates. A little like, did you see that little glitch right there as he initiates, goes into the second outside zone, but Stuckey is not reaping the rewards of that. You know, oh, buddy, that looks, oh man.
Kind of looks like he ran out of grip there.
How light that vehicle is, and you think it'd just be a little more light and nimble. And then Sobel was talking about how Rudy actually runs the same tire. When he does double duty, he'll run the same 255s, doesn't need to level up. He's like, I'm consistent with this, I'm good. Kind of like what you said about Brudski, right?
Yeah.
Brudski, you know, running maybe not the fastest and the most blazing, but consistency and ticking the boxes.
Well, and Stuckey did the same thing too for his first year in Pro. He ran 255s because he was comfortable. And talking about light cars, I mean, this is an issue with a light car. They're very twitchy. And I mean, there was a
Left
huge
foot, left
mistake
foot,
there from
and then
Stuckey,
just-
but right there you see two wheels go off from Rudy Hansen. Which, I mean, based on this track, so every track's going to be a little bit different.
Yep.
Within the drivers' meeting, so consulting both the drivers and the judges and, you know, FD as a whole, they came to the conclusion 2 wheels in the dirt is incomplete. So that is what it is. Keep that in mind for the rest of the weekend. So if you want to argue in the comments, 2 wheels off in the dirt.
Bears repeating.
Bears repeating.
Yes.
2 wheels off.
2 wheels off,
There you
equal, incomplete.
Yeah.
Keep it simple.
Yeah, that was a lower thirds for the entire event.
Yeah, right. Well, and that's just contrary to some of the other rounds, but this is something that the drivers and everybody else agreed on. It impedes. So here we go. Daniel Stuckey out front into that first outside zone. Rudy Hansen knows he needs to throw down here, and we are seeing Stuckey just riding the outside line of outside zone 2, and that is where Rudy Hansen, he jumps up to the occasion and rises into that final outside zone. Stuckey, now he's on the outside of that course, but keep in mind, again, we don't need clarification. If it isn't complete, we'll get to that when the verdict comes out.
Yeah, so.
I mean, you just have to deduce. I mean, that angle was pretty telling. You can see Stuckey give him a little Stuckey.
Yeah, played it safe, but at least he filled zones unlike
let's talk about a really
somebody.
light car. They don't have a lot of inertia. They don't carry a lot of momentum. So every input the driver is making will make the car feel twitchy. You'll be able to see all the inputs. That is the downside with a light car. The upside is, ooh, a little.
I didn't see that tire fire.
Yeah.
Dude, why, like,
I don't know.
We are getting more tire fires this year than any other year.
I don't know what
Line
it is.
them
I think
bitches
we're
up.
We're burning that much rubber, and it's yeah. I mean, it makes for a good show.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I'm here for it. I want to make sure nobody gets hurt.
That's a good point.
You know, Ryan literal was hyped on it. He's like, it's lit. Like, I'm like, I get it. You're on the nose. You're on the brand. Here we go. Daniel Stuckey. Looks like Stuckey gets the win and advances on. Rudy Hansen is knocked out. Did Rudy make it in Pro Spec?
That is a great question.
I have it somewhere. He did. I believe so. Okay, I just wanted to clarify.
Keep him battling.
Yep. All right. So we're gonna, yes, as you say, keep him battling. This is Federico Sharifo. He has a bye run. He would be intended to go against Dean Carney, but with his absence, he gets a bye run.
And he's going to be going up
It's a
against
penalty.
There is a little bit of history there between the two drivers. If I can get you to remember back to St. Louis a few years ago where they had a bit of contact after the line. So, yeah, that'll be interesting. But Federico Sharifo, you know, very much trying to get his head
he's
into
going
the
for
game.
the bye run. I was like, what is happening here?
And that's what he's been working on, is driving consistently, cutting down on the amount of changes he's making in the car, getting comfortable in it, and he actually has Chris Knapp in his ear as a spotter this weekend, which is kind of interesting. Yeah.
I mean, that's, I think he knows the track.
I think so.
Pretty well,
you
know?
Yeah.
I mean, he grew up here. I think he was actually born here. I think in this off, I'm joking.
Jeez.
I
was excited about this, but I don't like any of these. I mean, I like some of these people, but.
Oh, no. Yeah, exactly. All right, so we have 7 of the 8 drivers in: Andy Haley, Kyle Mohan, Joao Barrion, Jonathan Hurst, Dimitri Brudski against Mike Power, and Stuckey against Federico Sharifo. So we'll see his bye run, and we will continue on with our seeding brackets. But
Andy Haley, I mean,
bye run.
Well, Andy to it. I want Andy to battle, but like Kyle doesn't look like he's going to have a car.
his practice today already has gotten a lot better. So I'm interested to see, do you
imagine coming up with this really good
as a fun
system for qualifying and then everybody just doesn't show up?
Yeah, I think you go
So
for
you
it
have a
like
bunch of
somebody's
single car
chasing
runs,
you down.
like it's.
I think that's the strategy there. I mean, obviously, don't go above that. Maybe do 90%.
Yeah, I agree that it
really
is
hoppy
a
right
definite
now.
progression.
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, you can soften the suspension
But-
up at this track, which is going to
Oh my God.
help you. Really spicy there. It will help with the features, but it can create a bit more bounce in the car.
The seating, I love the
I could
seating.
nerd out on
The seating's great,
rebound and
but
high speed
if
and low
nobody's
speed
going to show
rebound
up,
and
then
all that stuff. But
Yeah.
yeah,
Keep
other
it
time.
simple. Keep it simple.
I understand,
We could,
like, no,
we could Bill Nye
not
the
everybody
Science Guy
can
later there.
make-
nerd. All right, when we come back,
make rounds,
we'll continue
but
with our
I don't know.
seating brackets.
This is the first
Our
year.
eights
This is
that
just
are
being
joining
me.
the other
Me being
24
overly
are
skeptical.
in. So
Right up.
congratulations to them. But again, don't go anywhere. Seating brackets continues here at E-Town.
It's still a Ferrari. Hey, you got one more Ferrari than I got. That's for damn sure.
On race day, when we want to show everyone out there who's the best,
Here we go, Frederick Osborne.
we really need to be focused.
What'd you just tag me in, Andy?
I tell myself, I got this.
Oh, that's
I'm the best
gradual.
there is.
The star is Frederick Osborne.
Looking for what comes next? For that moment when everything finally.
1 minute.
Whichever path you choose, it starts here.
Oh man.
Max Gear is a high-performance synthetic gear oil designed to provide maximum protection to heavily loaded gears. Slippery synthetic molecules and center look additive package not only reduce wear, they virtually eliminate both gear and bearing wear. We run 1,000 horsepower through our transmission and differential all season long and never have a problem. Eliminative variable, drift with Royal Purple Max Gear. Pour purple, Royal Purple. You can find Max Gear at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
NGK and NTK is more than just high ignitability spark plugs and precision sensors. They're about growing the car community. This is why they're introducing Shop Squad, an automotive meeting place for shop owners, service writers, technicians, students, and industry professionals to come together and share knowledge and encourage self-growth. Enrolling is free, and you have access to on-demand training, digital newsletters, product launch information.
Billy Mays here.
Woo!
All right, well, abracadabra do. Let's see what you got. We're talking about the Drift Wizard, Andy Haley, and his BMW. Andy Haley will be going against that of, oh wait.
Yeah, so Kyle.
Oh, we just got an update?
Yeah, so Kyle, it looks like, is going to pass for now. There's a lot of damage that was taken in practice. You take the time, make sure everything is dialed in. I get it. I'd like to see, obviously, the battle go on, but for the longevity of the car, to make sure everything is sorted, probably better to hang tight.
Yeah, and that's what you're saying. You know, he's locked and loaded in. I think that's a good strategy for him. This is bragging rights, you know, and you know, is he you have a championship run? You know, at this point, no. You know, we'd love to see him on the box, but look at Andy Haley. He's, you know, you talk about utilization.
Andy's ready to rip, man.
The evil Motorworks, you gotta love these guys from Redlands. Redlands, they supported him right there. You can see Evil. That's love backwards, by the way.
Oh.
EVOL. They sponsor. Yeah, they sponsor Jeff Jones.
Hey, thanks for sharing it, Andy.
Yeah. Hey, there we go. A little smoke-filled donut from the Drift Wizard.
I like, I like a little flair there. Why not? Why not, right? Give the people what they want.
Drift Wizard.
Yeah. I'm surprised he didn't just disappear.
Yeah.
That would be cool.
Poof.
Poof and, yeah, cloud of smoke.
Well, I'm into it.
Yeah, that'd be sweet.
That would.
We should teach him some magic.
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
The Andy Haley magic show
Yeah,
at halftime.
that'd be amazing.
The Wizard.
I'm totally into that.
So
But like, would you rather see like David Copperfield or David Blaine style, like, or like, which?
That's a good question. I would say more like Poof the Magic Dragon. Like, do you know what I'm talking
Not
about? The dude
Poof the
dressed up in
Magic
Dragon.
Dragon.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I think that style of magic.
Wait, didn't
All
we already
Speaking
have
of Magic,
that?
Barryon and Jonathan
Oh, never mind.
Hurst. These two drivers were throwing it down against their
I was a little
competitors
sus.
earlier to earn their spot. Joao Barryon, it was against Robert Thorne, and then you could see earlier Jonathan Hurst take out Ben Hobson. So we will see Joao Barryon leading. Speed and Hurst giving chase. See how the smoke just thickens with the light, right? So Joao
A for effort.
I'm telling you, his it comes up a bit short. You saw it grip up and then shoot on in. He's a dragon of a different sort.
God damn.
The
Hurts.
hood of the Cadillac XR.
Dude, this caddy is something
But
else.
Nice, snappy transition. You know, not as much smoke from Joao Barryon's vehicle, but you saw that muscle memory, that confidence from Jonathan Hurst. I'm telling you, I think, you know, doing those fun events like a Grid Life or a Hyperfest and those kind of events really just, I think you earn some confidence when you do those kind of events.
Yeah, it's super critical to just get as much seat time in your pro car as you can. But yeah, Jonathan Hurst missing a lot of the first outside zone. Joao really backing into these corners. It's kind of interesting, and he's able to get the car, you know, dug out and back to speed. It'll be interesting to see how drivers deal with this throughout the weekend.
Joao's a little slow going.
For Saturday.
Yeah, he didn't even really get on it.
A little bit there early in the outside zone 3.
I don't know. That's going to be interesting. I feel like Hurst is just going to walk away from him.
Like that,
yeah, look at how far Joao is starting back there.
You know, you've got to, your spotter's got to kind of let you know they're going to do that. You've got to play your cards correctly and not overcommit in those situations.
Yeah, it gets scary. You write your car off. The competitor. It's just it's risky.
It is risky, but it can work. I mean, that's honestly how Adam LZ won here last year.
Right.
Acted in on initiation.
Yep. And he knows his course as well. So here we go. Jonathan Hurst now out front, keeping it cool, Mr. Cool. In that Cadillac. And
that was a weird initiation. Missed outside zone 1. Damn, I thought he was going to walk him. Joao angled out. This is interesting. This is all very interesting. What is unfolding in front of my eyes.
Going to that final outside zone and crossing the finish line. I got a little rough.
That was rough around the edges.
Little
That was
hairy,
rough
for
around
sure.
the edges.
It looks like Hurst is it's either that the track is gripping up really quick or they've dialed more grip into the car. Take a look here, watch. So Hurst, pretty straight line approach, grabs the e-brake. Now right here, look, the car just grips up and starts to shoot forward. Now Joao doesn't have too many other options.
You got that thing gripped up. Get that grip reaper.
Of outside zone 2 with one wheel only in there. And Joao is battling to get in there. He is making some mistakes.
Yeah, he walked him on this section. Honestly, besides the initiation, Hurt, I feel like Hurst has it in the bag. Like, this was dog shit right here. This is dog shit initiation. Look at those fucking tires, though, that Hurst has on there. Probably running like 8 PSI. Just fucking grippy. But yeah, walks him in the midsection.
Not on the correct line, and Joao was attempting to get to the correct line, and that
I'll agree with that.
That contact was caused. Now,
Hurst wasn't on the wrong line.
Both competitors, they hit and they kept going. That's what we'd like to see. You know, easily one could have spun out and been a different call, and we'd be sitting here agonizing over what happened.
Yeah, well, again,
it's so ugly that I like it.
I don't know.
Andy,
I'd like to see it again. I don't know if the judges are going to see it.
I say that.
Looks like they have
it's
a verdict here. So
yeah, it's
Jonathan
pretty
Hurst,
fucking ugly. It is really fucking ugly.
Yeah, I mean, I'd love to throw the headset on any of you guys down there.
Why would you like to throw the headset on there?
Nobody all at once, if you don't mind. Jonathan Hurst, unanimous.
I feel like that was a pretty straightforward battle.
Eggert here. You know,
what's wrong, little Dougie?
What were your thoughts? Go for it.
Yeah, I think both drivers could have done a little bit better job. I think also having not driven on the track at this time of day, I think is a little bit difficult for them because it makes it probably a lot more grippy than what they were used to all afternoon when we were really hot and the track was probably a lot looser and greasier. We were just talking as judges saying that like these last 2 runs that Hurst done, we kind of wish we had the option to do them one more time because the battles were really close. So we were like splitting hairs, picking who did either the slightly better job or the slightly less mistakes out of it. And this one just was kind of that way again. So luckily we all went with Hurst for him based on the mistakes that we saw individually for each driver. And I think both of them need to clean it up for tomorrow to move on.
Good point.
Okay.
Yeah. All right.
I was just kind of curious if there was one big thing, but it sounds like it was the conglomeration of a lot of little things that caused it. So.
All right. So here we go. Mike Power, Dmitry Brutsky. They are going to be going against each other right now, and 2 talented drivers. And again, this could go really either way. You know, Brutsky knows this track. You talk about, you know, his strategy or his car setup. Talk about Brutsky and Mike Power. It's good to see him back. I know he messed around. And car looks great. Let's see how it performs. Initiates in that first outside zone. Use all the course. Barely a tread drop on that S15. Brutsky shimmies his way into that second outside zone. But Power looked like the car is very settled.
It
really
is.
well done. Into
Yeah, they're right.
final
That track is
outside
gripped
zone.
up.
Goes Mike Power. Want to see that overhead view just from the naked eye. Looked like he cut kind of the outside, or not the outside, but the most shallow line.
Yeah, so coming through the chicane, now we see the lead out, and you can see that, yeah, Power, I mean.
That was good outside in zone 1.
Really, really good, yeah. I thought he went a little bit deeper in that section.
I think he held on a little bit too long in braking to outside zone 2. But, I mean, Brutsky caught
up there on the
caught up.
Is able to battle back through a little bit later through the second outside zone, but
got out a little. I mean,
it's almost like Mike is
he's just not
into
super
the zone,
deep
getting on
in outside
power
zone
and
3.
Just getting away from Brutsky.
I feel like that was a
bit.
good chase and a good lead,
He
though.
did a really good job, and that's what I'm talking about. 1 and 2, he hit the inside clip like nuts on, and then that last outside zone, he did exit out probably about the halfway point.
Yeah.
But overall, you see Brutsky go a little deeper. See right there, he kind of exits out. But I thought overall very smooth. Good fluidity, the rate to angle was good, and Brutsky, you know, I felt like he was a couple car lengths back on initiation. That might be, you know, due to his setup, like you talked about.
Yeah, there's 2 very different setups in these cars in the way that they're driving, and you're going to see it here now, where Mike Power might struggle a little bit to hold the car back, as Dmitry does have a looser, smoother kind of car setup.
All right, here we go, Brutsky up front. The BMW initiates. You see that just dropping in that line.
A little bit too long in there, Mike.
Rips off that front bumper, both these guys.
Nice recovery.
And here we go. So, like you said, maybe back it off a little bit. Let some of the line go out there, and then stick it to
That's going to be an interesting call from
and
that.
He goes, brings it on home. Brutsky and Power.
Mike just held on a little bit too long. Let's see if Brutsky, though.
Happen, where Brutsky is able to get a very fluid and smooth initiation with a ton of angle, and then Mike, having a car that's a little bit more gripped up, has no other choice but to try and power into it and time it. And if you're off by a little bit, which he was right here, you can see, there it is. Mike just has
center punches his rear bumper
in comparison to what is going on.
Yeah, I think Mike wasn't expecting Dmitry to be that slow.
When you get on the throttle, how quickly the car shoots forward, as opposed to just kind of spinning in place, if you will. It's a massive oversimplification, but hopefully explains it a little bit better. Side bite, different. It's how quickly
no,
the
that
car
was
slows down
gangster
when you
that he
come off
kept
while
it in
going
there.
sideways.
All right.
Center punched him and
setups and
got right back in it.
2 different ways to drive the same track.
Yep. So, yep, that's it. Here we go. Slide him left for Mike Power, right for Dmitry Brutsky, and Brutsky gets the win. Brutsky never settle, advances on, and Mike Power, he may lose his battle, but he does win a spot into 32 tomorrow. Where he's going to go against or who he's going to go against is TBD for Mike Power.
And what a confidence booster either way, right?
Yeah.
When you've had a kind of a struggle for a little bit, just to even get that one battle under your belt, that can help, and even just, you know, getting more seat time in, getting a battle under your belt is great.
Absolutely. All right, so Federico Sciarrifo, Dan Stuckey. Again, coming to
This is going to be interesting, to be honest.
Look at the tux.
Amazing suits. Designs them all himself.
Yeah.
He had a kimono.
He stitches them.
I mean, I don't know.
I remember the Team Orange kimono one.
Oh, it's so cool.
That was a good one, for sure. Yep.
Little bit of history here too. I mean, they've had an
center
exchange
punching
of
him
awards
really. It was
ago.
gangster that he
So,
stayed in it, but
both,
I mean,
feisty competitors, let's say.
Yeah.
as a chase driver, you gotta follow. You gotta follow
Stuckey knows how to
what
pick
the
up. You know, we're talking.
what the lead driver is
and to
doing,
win
and
it,
Dimitri
you know,
didn't really
too soon.
seem to show that he was fucking any of that up.
Never too
so
soon.
Never
it
too
makes
soon.
sense.
Never too soon.
Yeah, me, Gene Okerlund here. I'm down to see. I got popcorn right next to me. I'll watch. Here we go. Federico Sharifo out front. Daniel Stuckey in the chase position. And Stuckey's got some serious headlights. All right. Leaving the line is Fetty. Oh, that looks like.
We've got Cone, I assume. I don't think anybody jumped.
I would say
Yeah, so when you see those flashing lights going on, that is just an indicator to the drivers that there is some sort of fault at launch. Could be a cone hit, or it could be jumping the light for the lead driver. Chase driver is able to jump the light. It's actually a decent strategy, especially if you're going up against somebody a little bit faster.
Yep. All right, they'll make their way back. No tires were hurt in the making of this run. Yeah, I can see a cone knocked off over there. So.
Do you see Stuckey's new house?
I did.
Yeah,
I did.
quite the compound.
Right, Oklahoma?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, Oklahoma,
So
yeah.
They're moving. I had a chance to chat with Casey Cole today. They're moving everything over. Casey's going to be in the same facility. So he's got two
houses, a shop, 5 acres.
Yeah, there's like a little lake there too.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah.
So I think the compound's the way to go. We saw it.
I think you're moving in, right? You and the kids?
I mean, maybe.
You
I was going to go to
Guess
Florida,
what?
but Oklahoma.
Guess what? Okay, Oklahoma.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd love to see you out there, host a make a studio out there. You're
Yeah,
good.
why not, right? Yeah.
Yeah, get weird.
Do I like make the same studio in a different place?
Yeah.
Yeah. The exact same.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so look at Fetty crawling through. He doesn't want another strike, but that might benefit Daniel Stuckey into the first outside zone. Stuckey, again, just not getting all the way out there. Here goes Fetty using all the course. Stuckey now gets into the pocket, tucks in, almost rubbing tires. Past an inside clip. Let's see how they handle it. A lot of front bumpers being ripped off. Right
Damn!
Whoa, a lot of dirt
What happened? Where'd he go?
I believe
Oh,
that
still
might
there.
have been Stuckey, but,
Couldn't even see him from that
take a
angle.
look. Another front bumper. What did I just say?
Yeah, that was it was definitely interesting. I mean, Fetty's lead was a bunch smoother than it.
Every
than
time
it
they
has
say
been.
Fed,
And Stuckey just
short
getting
for
aggressive
Federico.
again.
I feel like they're about to say
We
Fetty Wap.
talked about this before, different car setups. Let's take a look here. So Fetty initiates really
Fede.
early, using it super deep through outside zone 1. Stuckey playing it way back and then dives in here and now starts to play the chase game.
I don't
real
know
tight.
if it's.
Scrubs a bit of
I don't know if
angle
it's
out to get
me,
the
but I
proximity,
feel like
doesn't get as deep as
if
he could through that
they're
section.
going super slow
Fetty
right
through a
here.
touch and go does a good job. Could have been a little bit deeper in there. Stuckey dives in really, really hard.
Like I feel like
It wasn't
Stuckey had to
timed
left
perfectly.
brake that
That's
the
all it
whole
was.
time.
He was just a little bit too early on arrival, and yeah, put him into the side of a Ferrari.
Was there contact?
Yeah, there was. It wasn't massive, but there definitely was contact.
Wow.
It's hard to say though. I mean, I say it's not massive contact. We've seen really light touches that result in broken parts. So.
Well, I mean, talking to referencing Papadakis back in Atlanta, everybody's at 11.
Yeah.
Everybody's at 11. That's talking about not only horsepower, but angle, suspension, just fitments and everything. But those arms are so susceptible to just, if they're at max and they get hit, ding, they can easily just get snapped off. So here we go. Let's see the second half of this battle.
Let's see.
You can see the G-force, the throttle there. You can see just going up, and then obviously the miles per hour, the speed. Obviously he's going fast at 37 miles per hour. But all right, here we go.
I think
Transition into
Stuckey in this zone is probably going to launch from him.
And
Going from outside zone 2 to outside zone 3.
Good job by him. Into
Or is he
that
also
inside
going in
clip.
slow-mo? All right, I was wrong.
Here comes Stuckey in that last outside zone. And
I
looks
thought it
like
was
that
Fetty Wap
that
going
kind
hella
of
slow
a
in that
page out of
zone.
Brewski's book there. Just get the car in the right places. You don't need to burn up the track. It's not a drag race. And there's another bumper. Man, these bumpers. He's like, gosh, dang it. Yeah.
Little contact off the line. I've seen that a few times. So. All right, Daniel.
I don't know about
Stuckey
you
out
guys,
front.
but it kind of
Fetty
looked
been
like
really
he got a little
aggressive
toe
on the
out
first
in
part of
that left
chase.
rear.
You can see the size difference in the cars with this shot, how wide that Ferrari is. But Daniel Stuckey, so with this light car, when he gets on throttle, it just shoots out. It really, really pushes quickly. Now Federico able to dial in and start to reel in Stuckey as he's able to do a good job through that inside clip. And now as we get through this transition.
I was surprised that Federico was able to keep up. I don't know. I feel like maybe it's the camera angle now. That
it's just a matter of, was that enough of a chase? Does that, does that mean he did a better job than what Stuckey did with the contact that he had?
You could just see the the race face, the eyes, the chest pounding.
Boys got
It's
that
the pupils
adrenaline
that get
going.
me. Like the size of the pupils that they have in these conditions. It could be the middle of the day and super bright, and their eyes are massive.
All right, so
Love that.
Stuckey
That's a good shot.
waits for the outcome.
I'm up.
Zooming in on you, bud. He's
watching himself on TV.
Yeah, he could see himself on the screen.
That's going to be...
really scrutinizing this run here. Here's our BC Racing Go for Gold. BC Racing, the official suspension of Formula Drift.
Yeah, so easiest thing to focus on in the beginning is going to be the lead. So who had a better first outside zone? Points could have gone to Stuckey on that one. Second outside zone, Federico does a better job through the first part. Stuckey is able to dial back in. The proximity's not quite there for Federico in the chase. And then to our third outside zone, I mean, it's pretty, tit for tat at that point. So
honestly, that would be a one more time.
To look at the chase at that point.
Again, I understand. I said this earlier in the pro spec, but I understand why they don't do it. But I feel like if I've said that a lot, then they obviously would have had a lot of one more time battles, and it would have prolonged the product that the FD is trying to put out as a whole in this whole seeding thing.
Had some mistakes, but how they executed the chase, there was a particular
like now I feel like they don't even
just a little too fast. But here we go, slide him left for Federico Sharifo. Fetty gets the win with Fiorella.
Are they going to give us
Ferrari,
a judge? Or
moving on, Daniel Stuckey knocked out, but we will again see him in Saturday's main event.
Am I missing something? Because when they make a call and then pull in a judge, when I feel like they shouldn't pull in a judge because it was a very clear-cut case, and then one that I'm kind of confused on, they don't pull in anybody. Oh, this should be super interesting.
Brudski versus Federico Sharifo.
Haitley versus Hurst.
The winner of those
Brudski
going to the finals. Don't go anywhere. So, yeah, party continues.
Oh, I feel like it's going to be a Hurst-Brudski final. Just because I haven't seen Haitley and what he has been putting on track.
Especially with all the technology that Link has to offer, which should give us full communication and
so that's going to be interesting.
So far, being able to log in and
but I think Dimitri is just going to absolutely. Who knows? It looks for some reason it's looking super slow. The track's looking super slow to me right now.
Simple, cheap, easy,
but
good ECU, weatherproof.
Who knows? I could be completely wrong. I usually am, but I feel like Dimitri is going to absolutely walk Fetty Wap right now. Fucking hate how catchy these things are getting to. So far so good. I mean, I'm confused on some of the battles, but I feel like it's so neck and neck now without having that one more time. It's they do the one more times just to. They do one more times because it's too close to call, right? Like if this guy makes a mistake on his lead run and this guy makes a mistake on his lead run, they cancel each other out and it's one more time. Here, you don't have that opportunity, unfortunately, and maybe they'll come back and revisit it, but at the same time, like I said, I completely understand because like you got to get the show on the road, and if you're doing 2 seating brackets within a day, like you can't take up all the time, because I guarantee you Pro 2 would have lasted, or not Pro 2, Pro Spec would have lasted maybe an hour longer than it did because of one more time calls. Because there was a couple that were yeah, exactly. It was real hard to decide. Like, I don't know. It's just, I wish they did do it, but at the same time, I understand why they don't do it. And it's kind of, in one instance, you're hurting the product, right? In the other instance, you're not, right? Because you can get caught with your pants down like today, right? They could have been pushed back an hour, and then they would have had to scramble and get everything ready for pro, right? Do I think they have enough time? Yeah, but I don't know everything that goes on behind the scenes, but I feel like it would be more fair to the drivers, right? Like, how do you not make a biased decision, right? Because if you're saying one guy has a mistake and another guy has a mistake, and they just and those cancel each other out, then how do you figure out who won besides going one more time? Like there's no other way to go about it. So I don't know, man. But yeah. Yeah, no, exactly. It's like DeAndre said, it's not worth it because again, I feel like they have enough time, right? But let's see, like Pro Spike ended up at like 2 o'clock, and then this started at 3. So that's 3 hours. You got to get it 3 hours, everything ready, right? So maybe it's not enough time because 3 hours isn't that much time to get everything fucking going, get everybody ready.
Just the momentum you carried through it, and
you know,
extra testing, a little bit extra practice, right? Everybody only has a certain amount of runs, so if you can get more, that's a huge
sudden death. It literally is sudden death
as well. So it's like
but I also feel like that it leaves room for favoritism. All right, let's go, Andy.
Haley, Jonathan Hurst. Haley running down that evil BMW.
Whoa! Came out of the outside zone 1 too early.
Hurst, Mr. Cool.
But Hurst right there.
Look at Haley's own car. Oh, we got a little tap tap. Oh boy! Shots fired at the Drift Wizard.
I don't know, Andy.
He's got his own magic stick.
I don't know, Andy.
I think Hurst got into the side of him there, and
he did, but did it mess with us?
Pushed him a bit straight. Yeah, so Hurst is still looking really gripped up. I do think as this track cools down, it does tighten up, and it makes
I don't know about that one,
more
Chief.
difficult. So if they're not changing the setup to adapt,
do not know about that one,
pressure,
Chief.
Or changing some suspension things, it could make the car faster than what he wants it to be. Yeah, and the Corvettes are, I mean, that's a whole other beast. You know, he came out of the BMW before that, and then the G before that. Like, this is a completely different setup than either car.
Yep. You know, and just love the way, you know.
So Andy's hoping.
Has progressed. You know, we saw him years ago in a 350Z, and then he left the scene, came back, and
E30.
You know, just really having fun with it. It's you know, Formula Drift is the platform, and then you have your own ideologies, program, what you want to do it, marketing. You know, all of those things equate to a program. So it's pretty cool. So
yeah, and Andy's just embraced it, and I mean, I don't want to speak too far to turn on it, but like, dude's gonna fund most of his program with some felt cone hats.
Yeah,
like that's super cool to me.
You said that on yours and Loret's podcast.
Yeah, like,
that's
How do I add him?
Order more, 500 more. He's got them. They're here.
I love it. Like, you know what? He found something.
Add Andy to audio. We can't hear him.
All right, taking a look at the United States Air Force instant replay. Seeing.
How do I add him to audio?
You know, is somebody gonna call a comp timeout?
Yeah, you can see just so. Yeah, Hurst definitely got on the side of him. I mean, have to watch again to see if Andy was maybe slowing down in that part.
That's honestly, I saw a little disruption in Andy's line.
Yeah,
it wasn't drastic, but just that little bit. If again, perfect storm. If say Hurst is moving up on him and Andy's slowing down on him, that could definitely.
Well, this is where the decel lights start to come into play, right? So if you see,
I'm a fucking idiot.
I'm
so stupid. I thought you were talking about Andy in the chat, not fucking
and they're still green.
Andy Haley.
On power. It didn't go red. He didn't slow down. So in my mind, that indicates that Hurst hit him while Andy was still.
Hey, chill over there.
So if Andy's lights would have gone red,
how you doing?
Then
I'm so confused on what you're saying.
That then indicates that there was a major slowdown.
Yeah. You better not flop, Andy. I hate that shit.
That's why we've got them. That's why they're there, and that's what we're using.
I haven't been paying attention to this fucking whatsoever. I have no idea what the verdict is.
I would like to get clarification, make sure that I'm on the right track with that statement, unless there's something I've missed.
Are they trying to figure out who's at fault?
I mean, here we are
Junpei.
still looking at it again as let's see. So look at this transition here. So
still green.
Watch. The smoke signal is not the true indicator of on power, but you can see Jonathan Hurst slowing, and then like the decel line blue.
So.
Yes, the judges are having a discussion about this. And what
no,
Andy's
not on the mic.
Is both the decel light like we
He's
talked
just
about,
chatting.
Was he still accelerating? Was
was
he still on power through that?
Haley. All right, let's stop the confusion. Haley is still
making smoke? Are the wheels
in positive G's when homeboy hits him.
The decel light is a tool that is used in that
so
decision it is not always the final thing. It is a tool within the box of, things to measure the impact.
Yep. Yeah. And,
Yeah.
you
No,
know,
100%, Andy.
It's an aid. It's not.
His lights are green, so that means he's in forward
So, at
momentum,
first
right?
glance,
That's
they're all
if
green.
the
There's no
lights are
red.
working. We've seen him malfunction, but it does seem that Hertz came in and started, came in like a wrecking ball. Junpei, what's the beef, bro?
I know. I think they're
Trying to
wrapping it
stream
up.
here.
The judges are.
Stop
inputting
walking
their-
all over the old
their
man.
Verdicts.
Leave him alone.
So we still do have the other half of this battle. What this is more towards is going to be the timeout part of this as well. Who can put hands on vehicle for how long?
Ah, that's a great point too.
But also, their next set of runs, how it's going to impact that, right? Because if one person caused the collision and ended the run, then that's going to be a detriment to them when it comes to the next part of the battles.
Yep.
The plot thickens, as they say.
Yes. Yes, it does. All right, so we're seeing cars doing burnouts.
Yeah, so Dmitry Brutsky and Fede are in the box right now. More than likely, they'll be coming up to do their run while the other two drivers are hands-on.
They're going to put hands on the car.
Yeah.
I think there's going to be somebody at fault, and the other driver will be able to inspect their car without repercussions.
Right. Well, and the upside, too, is we're almost done seating 16. You do have a competition timeout specifically for this section that, you got to use it or lose it. You don't get to keep it for the next one, but
this is going to be interesting.
Get another comp timeout when it comes
Either
to the top
Dimitri wins or
Yep, absolutely.
Fede Wap's going to fuck him up.
Dmitry Brutsky. The other side of the bracket will revisit Haitley and Hurst with one half of the battle in.
It's going to be a fun tongue twister. Haitley and Hurst.
Haitley and Hurst.
Haitley and Hurst.
Again, Sage had to announce Kazuya Taguchi versus Kenshiro Gushi.
Oof.
And it was good.
You got through it.
Real good.
Man.
Barely.
It's like expert mode.
Yeah, right? Right. Whoa.
Expert announcing mode.
All right, so, Sharifo and Brutsky, it's not easy in itself as well.
Yeah.
Federico Sharifo versus Dmitry Brutsky. All right. All right, we have cars on line. Let's get ready to send them.
This will be interesting. Both cars are relatively loose, a little bit slower, so it should be a pretty interesting battle here. Try not to call it too early. I'm trying not to make any predictions ahead of time, but yeah, I do think this is going to be a very evenly matched battle.
All right.
Well, at least he got it stopped this time.
Fede is just hot to trot.
Fede Wap.
Hot to trot.
The car is very wide,
I don't know any
too. I
Fede
think
Wap
it's the widest car here. So trying to get through that chicane is not easy.
Yeah. Yeah, he's got to crawl.
Thing sounds like
it
it has a Jake brake when it slows down. Oh.
All right, Dimitri's going to...
What?
That is his
What's wrong?
first strike.
On this battle.
On this
sweet
battle.
little
so
bug.
you can have 3 strikes per battle. Yep. So, 3 strikes per battle. Traditional stick and ball sports, hit a cone or jump the light. 1 strike. Once you get 3, nope, you're out. Hit the bench, kid.
Yep.
Now we are seeing again, this is a restart, Federico Sharifo and Dmitry Brutsky here in the final 4 of our pro seating brackets. Lights extinguish, and Fede runs through the time best lights are on. You can see the throttle there, on throttle, the blue gauge. And there we go, Federico Sharifo. Ooh, looks like he takes out the indicator.
Trying to go fast.
That's, again, not an incomplete. Unless it's 2 tires off on this particular course and the setup. Look at Brutsky, tucks right into the pocket. Fede
going to start to slow down, get ready for transition.
Like you said,
Bam, right there.
Couldn't agree more just with the pace of the
Federico
car.
completely missed that zone.
Little flex on him, but that's not exactly what you want to do, especially crossing the finish line. Could snap back, but overall, a full pull.
All right, so Fede out in the lead on that first outside dome. Definitely gets nice and deep through that section. Now, coming into the second one, you can see Dmitry does pull out a little bit of the angle to get the proximity in, and then does get the car back to angle. Makes a little tiny bit of contact there, and then backs off as they come through the transition. Fede looks good. I mean, the track is definitely tightening up and
deep
is
dive.
providing a bit more grip.
Good outside zone one,
Fede's
little deep.
That is,
not going to
a
fault
looser,
that.
A little smoother. Is starting to
outside
show
zone
some
2
signs, so when he gets back on throttle,
stays
he's starting to
midline
push
about
up the
halfway
zone,
through
which
and
you
then
can see
starts
there.
to come out of it.
Dmitry doing a good job
Misses.
He's not using a ton of left foot brake there.
Yeah, no, agreed, Dre. It looks good first half, but then he's coming out of zones early, and I don't know what that's about.
I mean, Brutski's he's got good notes
but
on this
good
track,
battle.
and that's what you're seeing here.
Yep, yeah, and that's again course knowledge, knowing where, how,
all right,
and when.
I don't know about you guys, but I'm expecting Dimitri to just completely take off.
The other side of it, Dimitri Brutski out front, Federico Sharifo in the chase. Initiating that first outside zone goes Brutski, Federico, bit of a shallower line there. At first glance, down to that second outside zone, you can see Brutski filling all of it.
But does he come out of it early, like Freddie?
Brutski, like I said,
Can't really tell from that angle. Looks like a good inside clip.
The never settle BMW in that last outside zone.
See, now on his outside zone 3, he was late in, or no, he was early,
when he's out in the lead,
late
he
in,
needs to put in the speed he can do
and then stayed in it.
That's
Federico
really
was kind of the opposite. He got in there deep in the first half and got out of it.
Keep the car dialed back, and not use a ton of left foot brake to hold the car back. But here you can see, I mean, he's got to be almost a second faster in a lap through that section, maybe 5-10 miles an hour, the whole thing, because it looks really good and really quick. And you can see behind him, Fede struggling to keep up. Look, a lot of angle of the car, almost driving straight there just to get back into the zone. So it's a really, really interesting setup that Dimitri's got. I'd love to kind of break down with him a little bit more and understand how he's getting the car prepared for these battles, just because of
he needs to bring his Team Orange car over here.
Chase and then able to put in a lot of speed.
I get that it's a Ferrari, but holy fuck, man, I'm tired of it.
Really does struggle to get back into the battle and be where he needs to be effective in the chase. Whereas Dimitri up front, great job, able to fill all the zones, and yeah, I mean, basically put everything together to have a solid lead run.
I'd say this is Dimitri.
Which way they're going to go, Federico or Dimitri Brutski? Going to the finals of our seeding bracket, Dimitri Brutski. Dimitri Brutski gets the victory, and he will be going against the winner of Andy Haley or Jonathan Hurst. Now, some clarification on the Haley-Hurst incident. Basically, the judges have deemed Haley at fault, and here is their explanation. Andy's lights were not yellow or red. However, a driver can still change speed and cause contact, which is what the judges actually observed. And then Haley confirmed it even more because he did admit that his car had an issue that caused the contact, and he actually requested a competition timeout. So again, at glance, I kind of saw that, and I was like, maybe Andy, and even though they're green, you know, you could still cause it. And then I think, again, perfect storm where Andy might have been slowing a little bit because of that issue, and Hurst was
definitely
an
interesting development.
He was
for
accelerating,
sure.
and they got into it. But I love the, again, Haley admitting, confirming, competition timeout. You get one. Here it is.
Yeah. No, it's good, and that's why we say, you know, the lights are good, and they do provide a tool and an indicator, but it is not the end-all, be-all.
Yep. So let's take a look at it again here, and this will complete the story of what happened here between Haley and Hurst.
Outside zone 2 is what we're looking for, so I'll prime you for that. So as we transition through here, watch Andy's car and notice the slowdown. So he pours on a bunch more angle and gets to the edge of the track, and then right there is where the contact is made.
Yep, and you can see just
I think in NASCAR they call this a racing incident. It's not really that it's anybody's fault, but unfortunately we have that.
There it is. So,
especially if there's damage to the cars.
Only seeing Jonathan Hurst back to the line.
Come on, Andy.
Might see Haley already at the line. No? Yes? Maybe so.
Some other lights coming around. No?
Hey, Drift Wizard, that's not how you wear the hat. Guys, that's not how you wear the hats. They go on your head.
They make great funnels.
Hey, your unemployed friends on a Thursday. Here they are.
Oh, he's got all the wizardlings. All the whiz kids.
Whiz kids, yeah.
Yeah, that's what we call them. Right? The whiz kids.
Whiz kids.
Oh, Andy is there. Good.
Told you. Yeah.
Okay.
That's
Woo! I was gonna be a little upset.
And
again, racing incident. Hopefully Andy can put it down.
They just want to drive. That's
yeah.
The Wizard and Pride of Paducah. Are you kidding me? Come on. Here we go. Hurst out front. Haley in the chase position. Who's going against Brutski? And Hurst, a lot of handbrake going to that first outside zone.
Come on, Andy.
He does have this advantage over Andy Haley. So Hurst, the Mr. Cool Cat.
Damn, Andy's looking fast though, so thankfully he's in the show tomorrow.
And now transitioning into that final outside zone. Sans the hood.
Ooh, damn. Honestly, if Andy would have kept going,
But again, I think too little, too late.
If Andy should have kept going. That's why I feel like if you're
I would be shocked if they didn't make a change to Hurst
If
car
you're
because that is a completely different form
Yeah,
and a completely
agreed.
different
They did
drive
make a
than
change
we've
to Hurst
seen at
car,
Hurst tonight.
but
So
I
take a
think
look.
Andy
But
should have
still
kept going
very quick.
because
Car is still quite quick. You
we've
can
seen
see
it
that
this
Andy's
year that
struggling a
they're
little bit to
really
keep
paying
up,
attention
but
to
the car is able
if
to
somebody
hold angle much
is
better,
flopping.
much more stable. He's not shooting out of the zone. You do see there is some left foot brake going on. You can see the brake lights going on.
like
even
with the
though
whole
he's still
Adam
on
LZ
throttle.
thing, right?
That is
Like
to
they're
keep the car
paying
back a
I think
little
it's
bit.
because of Taylor Hall. I
Hurst,
think they're paying
very
attention
different drive.
to the
That
lead
is
driver
Jonathan
more when it
Hurst
comes
that
to
we know.
contact
Yeah.
and make sure that they're not doing any
Absolutely.
fuckery.
Again,
So
maybe trying to go that
I
more calculated
think
route,
Andy should have stayed
but
in
that's
it,
not the way
and
Hurst
he would have
drives.
got the win
The pride
there.
of Paducah, Jonathan Hurst gets
Because
the
he was
victory.
on.
He's
Dude,
going
Hurst is
against
quick right now, but
Dmitry
he was on
Brudsky,
his
right?
shit.
Just wanted to clarify that. So Brudsky.
So, I
and
mean, that's
Hurst
unfortunate for
in
Andy. I was
our
hoping to see him
pro
advance,
seeding
but unfortunately I
finals.
made the
K&N
right
seeding
call
bracket
that it's
K&N,
going to be a
the official
Brudsky
performance air filter
and
of
a Hurst
Formula
final.
Drift.
So I'll be
You can
right
see
back.
right there, Hurst versus Brudsky, but again,
I'll be right back.
you could see the two just inside left and right, those 8 drivers, Haley, Mohan, Joao Verdion, Hurst, Brudsky, Power, Stuckey, and Fetty are in the top 32 tomorrow. So again, we backfill the other 8. Jacob, we're down to the finals and all our drifting fans. When we come back, we will send it here at E-Town. Welcome to Orlando Speed World.
How could you not love to see cars ripping around a track?
You know Ken Block never signed boots?
Keep it goofy.
Yeah. This is a page in the history book that we will never forget.
Let's send it!
We're up here behind the scenes, up here in the announcer's booth. All right, RCP, Ryan Literal. We are moving on to our next battle. I'll tell you what, RCP is surging. The Garagistic BMW behind the bank blends in the green of the vehicle and that wall. Look at that, just chameleon, karma chameleon, red, gold, and green. Oh, we lose another bumper there in that killer crossover. Here comes Ryan Literal, but RCP continues on, no problem. That dude has seen more hits, takes a lick and it keeps on ticking.
Things constantly unfolding. The story's unfolding, and that's what's cool being up here. We got AC, so I'm very sorry, but it's still hot because just all the pressure, man. It's just cool. But Orlando, the vibes. Look at the people. What's cool about Orlando fans? There's, you know, everything from amateur, pro-am, just they're really well-educated fan. So I feel like we're kind of building up. They know that we're only in 32. You got to pace yourself. 16, 8, 4. And then a winner under the light. So they just know they're educated fans. That's what's cool.
Yeah, heavily agree.
Heating up. We still
They
got
gotta.
a lot more tires
You
to
just
burn.
gotta
We
stay
said
in it
here at
because
Orlando Speed World.
you know we had that problem with.
Welcome to Orlando Speed World.
I think Forsberg.
Hot, sweaty, and you get
These
like
are the
a
ones that
panda
come
like
to
this
mind right off
gentleman
the
right
top
here.
of my head.
No,
I'm sure
no,
there's
don't
more.
Be shy. Don't be shy.
Forsberg, and
this guy makes so many things happen behind the scenes. He hates everybody. But he
Fuck, what was
loves
that?
everybody at
The
same time.
numbness that
Like
thinks
all these
that he's
people
Dale
here in
Earnhardt.
Orlando. Let's party at OSW.
As soon as they get tapped, they just immediately fucking shut everything down, right? And before, the judges were like, "Oh, well, the chase car ran into him. You know, he doesn't need to finish that run." But now they're obviously looking at it very differently, which I agree with the way that they're looking at it. You know, I think if you get tapped and you're the lead driver, and if it really doesn't mess up your run, keep fucking going, dude. Like, because we want to see the action. When people start flopping in the lead run because you touch them, it makes chase drivers hesitant, and then it takes away from the product of the chase, and it being super fucking insane. But that's just my fucking retarded opinion.
Slippery synthetic molecules and center look additive package not only reduce wear, they virtually eliminate both gear and bearing wear. We run
Lost my
1,000
dog.
horsepower through our transmission.
Billy Mays here.
All season long and never have a problem. Eliminative variants. Drift with Royal Purple Max Gear. Pour Purple, Royal Purple. You can find Max Gear at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
モータースポーツで得た高度な技術、すべてのレイズホイール、一本に込める魂、永遠に変わらない。ビヨンド・ザ・レボリューション。The concept is racing.
There's no better way to test your tires than on the racetrack. That's why at Kenda Tires, we compete with the same tires we sell. And that's how the technology built into every Bethesda UHP Max tire goes from podium to pavement. Whether you're a professional driver chasing podiums or a grassroots enthusiast looking for weekend excitement, Kenda Tires are
But when's the last time he got on a podium?
journey.
In Formula Drift America. I think he just won Formula Drift Japan.
NGK, the leader in high ignitability spark plugs, is proud to announce the launch of its Mod Performance ignition coils. Designed and built for performance, Mod coils feature custom primary and secondary windings to increase output and performance. Mod coils provide maximum levels of dielectric strength, voltage insulation, and durability. Level up like the pros. Choose Mod Performance ignition coils from NGK, the official coil sponsor of the Formula Drift Pro Spec class.
All right, well, we are moments away from seeing our Formula Drift Pro seating bracket finals. What's going on? Thanks for coming out here today. Look, I'm going to salute that guy's shirt, red, white, and blue.
Tommy Lemaire there, Mr. Mid.
Hey, TLO.
Whoa.
Maple syrup.
Relax.
Salute all
What
the
do you see?
tank tops. Sun's out, guns out. Even though the sun's not out, it's still hot.
Guard dog, what are you doing?
I've got some TLO fans. Easy now. All right. Oh, boy. Hey, it's a family show.
Oh, yeah, what the hell, man?
Oh, hey, whoa.
Junpei,
Yeah.
let's
Look out,
relax,
right
my
above
guy.
you. There's a hawk.
Hey, let's pump the brakes, dude.
As Death Row Records
What
on
are you
there.
so upset about?
Yo, throwing the horns.
Junpei.
You, man. No, you in the blue shirt. Keeping it cool. Any other drivers out there sweating it out with the fans?
What's wrong?
Huh?
Usually there's a few hanging
what do you
out
see?
in the grandstands. They might be hanging out in the cold trailer at this point.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Hurst and Brutski. These guys, I expect some aggressive driving here, but you got to think, the spotters just get in their head and be like, hey, it's cool if you win tonight. That'll be awesome. Be great. But it's bragging rights.
Junpei, stop.
Save a little in the tank for Saturday, but they want to put on a good show. They love to get on top.
All right.
I mean, there's some.
If Brewski doesn't pull some shiesty set, I think Hurst got this in the bag.
Back in the Pro 2 days.
Stop,
so, yeah,
bro.
It'll be interesting. I think this will be a fun one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This will be good. Here we go. Our English E-Town.
You're ruining the vibe with the
Raceway
boys.
Park. Hurst will lead. Brutski will give chase. Both these guys are in the main event. And here we go. And I believe Hinckley will get third place in our seating bracket because he is number one out of all these drivers. And there we go. Now Brutski, you can see applying the pressure of the Mr. Cool Cadillac. In the
Yeah,
center.
Hurts
There's
is
a big
just.
angle there, firing off. You can
He's
see
got that grip
the
reaper.
weapon just popping and locking
Dimitri had
through
to
that
shallow up
zone
on his
into
angle
that
to get through there.
front inside clip. Look at Brutski. Stick it to the door.
But hey, you know what?
All the way out
Hurts
there. Now they
Hurts missed his
transition
outside
past
zone
the
3.
finish line.
You can see the glow off of the turbos of Jonathan Hurst's car. Yeah, Hurst is on one now. I mean, he's dialed in. He's getting really, really aggressive out in the lead. So initiates very early. Doesn't get super deep to the first outside zone and almost shakes Brutski off his tail there. Second outside zone, Hurst gets in a little bit later, and it takes about halfway through it before Dimitri's able to kind of catch up and get back to where he needs to be because they piled through that inside clip now. Big transition, and then Hurst with a left foot brake to keep the car dialed, just skirting on the edge, the inside edge of the third outside zone. That sounds like a punk song.
Yeah, right.
But does a good job there. I mean, it does.
Yeah, I think.
Is kind of trying to shake Dimitri Brutski off his tail. He knows what he needs to do, and it's to be very aggressive. And just a ton of angle out of Hurst, a lot of throttle, pops and bangs, and like I said, you can see the manifolds and the turbos glowing. He's got that car, dialed in at this point.
Yep.
So.
Yeah,
Dimitri,
I don't know. I think like they're saying right now, I think he was just trying to scoot away, but he was bobbling. I don't know.
We're gonna swap him around and see how this plays out.
Let's see who comes out on top, and like I said,
I feel like Hurst is a lot quicker.
Place here in our pro.
Could be wrong. We're about to find out.
Right now, Brutski is out front on throttle into that first outside zone. Brutski right there on the course's edge. The Mr. Cool Cadillac jumps right back to the side. Brutski. Oh, look at this guy. Oh, rubber, and it dug in. Oh, that thing just hooked. You saw that front right just dig in And Hurst knows who he's going against, and this is why I say maybe save a little in the tank, but that thing just dove in and probably grabbed bumper or a bump on that front.
That's that, yeah.
You see Hurst car just go brrr, just down.
Yeah, when you go front wheel on front wheel like that, I mean, it's no good for either driver. It'll tear the steering wheel out of the hands.
That was a really, I mean, how it usually goes. It's a really good chase up until that moment.
That was, I'm not shocked that Hurst went that hard. I'm really not.
No, not at all. And you said that. That's what you anticipated.
Yeah. So let's see as they come out of the chicane. Dimitri doing a good job. Hurst just super aggressive. He shoots a little bit further back, knowing he's got all that grip dialed in. Pushes, transitions a bit early and has to sink back right here. Surges.
Kurt Cobain POV took himself out.
Yeah, rubber on rubber, just you're going, you know. Yeah.
But yeah, it really is that section right there. Hurst diving in a bit early. Dimitri, all the zone. He's using all of that second outside zone. He's doing what he should be doing out there. Just Hurst is very, very aggressive and trying to get a ton of proximity, and that's the way it goes. You got a whole day to fix the car. Why not, right?
There he is. Look at Drift Wizards out of the bus.
Where does he?
Hey! There's third place here in our pro seating brackets. Congratulations to Andy Haley. Evil, all the love, quality, performance. Check them out at Redlands, EVOL, backwards, that's love. And all love for Andy Haley.
I know, buddy. You're excited about something.
All right, well, round of applause for some great driving, Jacob. We anticipated this. This is great. We got through it. Tomorrow it's all pro spec. Saturday it's all pro, and these gentlemen will be joining them. Round of applause for these three finishers here of our pro seating bracket. Hugs all around for these guys. So again, third place is Andy Haley, and your winner here for our pro seating brackets.
I wonder who it is.
Again, we'll see him there Saturday night. Your winner unanimously is Dimitri Brutsky. Gets the win. Brutsky gets the win. The never settle. ESSA Autosports. Link Engine Management.
Interesting.
BMW. He gets the victory.
You know,
and with that, second place, Mr. Cool, Jonathan Hurst.
You can tell Jonathan's beating himself up there.
Place, excuse me, but he does get the win to advance.
He had it. He had it.
To the head-to-head.
Well, maybe he didn't have it, but he was doing really good in that chase run, and he probably could have. Probably could have snuck in there and took the number one seed. So, I mean, hard not to beat yourself up, but at the same time, like, you had a good run. you got up to second place in the seeding, and you know.
Yeah. So as we are seeing the one.
Hopefully next round you won't even have to be in the seeding.
On our pro seeding
you know,
bracket.
that's the progression that you want to make. Is that he did really good at Long Beach. I don't really remember Atlanta and Orlando for him. So I don't know why he's back in the seeding bracket. But I remember in in Long Beach, you know, he was killing it. You know, he almost took out James Dean. So,
join us tomorrow. Will be our
all
She's gonna be
right, I think I'm gonna go live tomorrow at let's see, 1:45, 12, 11, 10, and maybe a little early. If you guys want to get together and watch some pro spec live, I think I'll be there.
We'll see you online. We'll see you another time.
But yeah, good event overall. I wish more people showed up, but it is what it is. Some people can, some people can't. I know how that goes, but alrighty, boys. I appreciate you tuning in and supporting. I'll talk to you later.